We're all here instantly. Hello and welcome back to Rolex Play, where we roll dice and we play games. You've joined us for our midweek campaign titled Threads of Chaos. We're on our 13th episode, session, whatever you want to call it. And we have a new layout. We're in boxes now. Hello. New, fresh. Very wow. Very amazing. So we are just going to dive straight into it. So as a little bit of a recap, so everyone is caught up, the party have arrived in the capital of the Ebrith dynasty, known as Bealv'Yir, a port city, powerhouse of commerce, as well as fleets on the seas. They have since docked up and have walked around a little bit, taken in some of the surroundings, but their main goal is to find the main addressee of the letter they had all received. A letter detailing some of their personal issues and saying that they will fix it for them, as long as they come and meet in a specific place at a specific time. The party had travelled down to the Broken Spoke Inn, were greeted by the locals, and had quickly found the other people addressed in that same letter. A group who has also found themselves on the road and had called themselves Life's Echo. You had met a couple of them, talked at a table in this bar, discussed some things, some theories relating to what's going on. No one seemingly aware of why you are all being gathered here today. But as you were talking and discussing, sharing stories of your travel thus far, you had been interrupted by the appearance of two people. And this is where we're going to just dive into it. So, the tavern itself is very long, not very tall, but filled with a smattering of monstrous races. Some of you blend in quite nicely. Others stand out like a sore thumb. You see a lot of people looking over in your direction whilst you've kind of gathered at the very end of this tavern. You can see as everyone's kind of staring towards you, they're mainly focusing on people such as Mayseely in your group, as well as Helen as well. They're just seemingly looking over in your direction, noticing some things and keeping to themselves. But you can see there is an eye that's been cast in your direction. But whilst you sit with the other group that is now all rejoined after having left some of their belongings, some of their shopping, you are approached by two very dapper-looking individuals, a man and a woman. The man himself stands at probably about 5'10", not the tallest, but about average. He stands there with this very nice, well-presented suit, mainly in the kind of darker greenish color, slightly faded to gray, with a purple trim around the edges, presenting themselves in a very kind of customary almost approach as they stand there with a very straight back, not very slouching, nicely presented haircut, features fairly well kept. They stand there ready to present themselves to you. The other one next to him, a human woman, the previous one a human man. She stands slightly shorter, but only by about 2 inches. She is blonde of hair, tied up in a ponytail. She's dressed in the same way as he is. And the both of them look as though they are ready for business. Standing out very much in the general audience here, most people in this tavern are wearing loose weaponry, leathers, metallic armor, and not necessarily the most cleanliest of people, being people who have joined from the ports, sailors just docked for the day and looking for a quick drink. They both present themselves, and you see that the woman, she kind of steps forward and begins to address all of you directly. Good evening, all of you. I hope the Gold Throne Road was kind to you on your journey south. And to see you've all made it in one piece is a great sign of things to come. Although it looks like you've already been introduced. We shall all get to know each other fairly soon. Lord Hassar has been waiting patiently for your arrival. He is looking forward to meeting all of you personally. She gives a very wide smile and begins to watch each one of you individually, acknowledging that kind of one-to-one. Before anything else, let me introduce ourselves. I am Coraline, and my colleague here is Richter. We both aid Lord Hussar during these trying times. As she kind of looks over the rest of you after kind of finishing that notion, you see the other individual by her side begins to speak in her stead. Trying times indeed. The Lord has shown a keen interest in all of you present here. He's seen a potential in each one of you, and on that same coin, you're all looking for something. Some of your goals are selfish and others are noble, but we are not here to dispute or belittle what you need. Lord Hussar is here to provide you with clarity and to bring you what you seek. Lord Hussar will elaborate further. For now, if you could follow us, we will bring you to meet your benefactor. And you see the two of them step to the side and allow you to walk straight ahead. You see that Coraline begins to walk towards the main entrance door as Richter stands by waiting for each one of you to stand up and follow them. You begin to see the other party, this other group that sat with you, kind of very hesitantly don't move and just sit there and kind of look at the two of them. What did the rest of you do?
Yeah, just a moment. I will try a new bot, so be warned, it might be
Loud?
loud, yeah.
Okay.
So I adjust your volumes, please.
Braced.
Okay, no, it's... Well, we can continue. I need
Okay.
to give him permission first.
All right. Does Olwyn or Myceli do anything with this information? Do you follow? Do you say anything?
I follow, or I want to follow.
Okay. So you see Myceli begins to step up.
I also stand up, somewhat hesitantly.
Mm-hmm.
So, are we meeting this nobleman Hussar now?
You see Richter look over you. That's right, Olrin. Hussar will be seeing you today. You'll be having a discussion with him, and he will inform you of what he needs. But first, he wants a chat to get to know you a bit better. And as well,
Lovely.
you can also ask your questions, which I'm sure each one of you have.
Definitely have a lot of questions to your mysterious benefactor, or our mysterious benefactor.
Well, I can have you be there as elegant as you can. The Lord himself is a very open-minded gentleman. If you have any questions, no matter how brash they may be, he will answer them fairly, and there is no such thing as a wrong answer. So just speak truthfully, or don't. That's completely up to you. One by one, the others begin to step up as well, and they begin to follow behind Coraline. Here we go. The bot. I'm braced.
Yeah, you can adjust right now the volume because it didn't work as intended, but at least he joined. Yeah. Just can mute it like for now.
No worries. Okay, so you all begin to step up. As you all begin to leave and follow in their stead, Coraline's by the door waiting for you to approach. Seeing as you begin to step up one by one, she begins to smile and kind of continues in and follow on a path. As you do, you see that Tuco and Cognar, the two of them who have been sat in the tavern itself, just kind of minding their own business, you see they kind of look up to the group of you. Cognar will just say, "Oh, would you like us to just look after the horses until you come back?"
Yes, please. Those horses are really precious. Oh, don't forget to feed them, clean them, and yeah.
Made sure to have every little detail of how you've looked after the horses. I will make sure that they are in the same condition you leave them.
Oh, great, great. Just don't talk to them because you might get weirded out. But they are like good horses, just a bit weird, as everyone.
No offense, Axon, but most people don't actually talk to their horses.
Oh well.
But not expecting an answer anyway.
I mean, they do answer actually, and I do understand them, and they quite good. One of them, at least, is quite a good talker. But yeah, he's a bit gloomy. So yeah, you have been warned.
And how long will you be? Is this going to be like a couple of hours, or?
Honestly, we don't know.
Yeah.
We know very little about this.
Just if we are
and
not back,
sorry.
like in a few hours, you can assemble a search party. So, or try to like contact us and see if we are alright. And if
Okay.
not, then
Well, I hope you're not going to be killed or taken away against your will. So let's hope that doesn't happen.
let's hope.
I kind of like you guys, so please don't.
Yeah, and we have tomorrow quite an important event to attend.
You watch as Richter, who has kind of been listening to this most of the time, as one by one, each one of you pass by. He's kind of waiting for the rest of you to walk up. He just looks down to Tuco. Don't worry, my little orange friend. They will be brought back as soon as the conversation's finished. They will have some thinking to do, I'm sure.
Ominous. Okay.
With that, Richter just begins to guide you forward. So the journey will take around half an hour or so as you travel through the many boroughs of Bealv'Yir, seeing many different areas of it. You pass by many of the different churches that are here within this city, dedicated to 3 different gods. You see them on occasion, as well as their iconography spattered around here and there. The streets themselves are fairly well kept. You can see that there is a respect, even though that this city seems perhaps overpopulated with how narrow the streets are and how thin the alleyways can be. There is still a respect and a cleanliness around this entire space, and there are guards located everywhere. You see the same kind of outfitted units of the dynasty's warriors out and about, wearing different elements of their garb. Some of them have very heavy metals on display, others very rudimentary and lackluster, for the best word, leathers, and they carry around twin weapons by their side. Very Viking-esque, as you see that they command somewhat of a respect here. And as you cross by, you see a couple of them nod in a direction of Coraline and Richter, and they just kind of smile and wave back. They seem to have somewhat of a notability here. But you begin to walk through the rest of the city. During this time, some of the other party members are going to start having conversations with you. And if you wish to talk to any of them, you're more than welcome to. But first, for Olrin, you watch as the bugbear, the cleric of Celestia, kind of begin to walk up to you and just walk alongside. Why did you choose Moradin? Is it, I'm still trying to process. There are so many gods in this world. Why Moradin?
Oh, I'm actually somewhat stepping into someone's footsteps. It's a more ordinary reason than most for choosing a god. I met my teacher. He created farm utensils. Hearing him praised, I thought that would be a life for me.
It is quite a noble life, quite a simple one, but it is A nice life, quaint. Not seeing much action. So to see you in metallic armor and running around is a strange sight. Moradin priests are far and few between.
My perspective might be somewhat different as I hail from Trasvilar. But enough about me. How did you come to choose Celestia?
I did not choose her, she chose me. I was a misguided youth, little of no respect. I was lost. And in moments where you are lost, you look to the only place where light gathers. And I looked up to the stars. And my prayers were answered. I cannot explain to it any other way than an epiphany. I felt a connection to the lines that draw across the sky at night. I could feel a need, a want. Something inside of me was needed, a call to action. She guided me in my darkest times, and I still struggle with these dark thoughts that cross over. But she keeps me on steady footing, and I try to do the same for everyone else.
Oh. In that case, best of luck.
To you as well. You continue to walk around. To Axon, you notice that the gnomish figure, the small, brutish one of their group, is constantly eyeing you as he kind of like half drunkenly walks around, stumbles over an occasion, just kind of looking up with one eye. And then he just kind of like shakes his head every so often as he continues to walk. You just notice it.
Trouble you, my small friend.
No, not at all. No. Well, a little bit. I think I've seen you somewhere.
True. Like some minutes ago, we had some conversation in the tavern.
You're a real funny one, but no, not in the tavern. I've seen you elsewhere. Are you from the Fae?
Yeah, I am.
Okay, that might be. I might explain it. Yeah, I've done a lot of traveling, you see. I remember coming across this one big bubble in the middle of fucking nowhere. I remember seeing a lot of you there. So you're one of them?
Me? You mean people looking like me?
Yeah, well, one person really looked like you, though. Someone. Maybe, I don't know, brother? Son?
I have brothers, unfortunately, and I don't think I have seen you. But, I might have seen you, but you're not quite, eye-catching person, so I might just forgotten.
He gives a slight bow as he continues to walk and stumbles on occasion. Oh, well, I'm not really trying to stand out too much now. See, that element of surprise is a very good thing, my friend. You should know this. You're a little bit of a magician. Tricks and a little bit of cunning here and there.
That's my forte, you can say. Do you want some, Do you want to see another magical trick?
No. You can save that for later. No need to do it now. Not with everyone present. Don't want too many eyes on us now, do we?
I can be discreet, you know.
Alright, go on then. Let's see it.
Right. So I will just again take a deck of cards, but instead of like flushing them or just make them float, I just take one card and without any somatic or verbal component, just cast prestidigitation right next to him, so it will. Yeah, I would say the air around him would chill like for a bit. So at least maybe he would be more or a bit like to make him more sober,
Sure, yeah. You cast the magic and you watch as he breathes it in, and then his breath becomes slightly misted. He goes, whoa, nice one. See, you do have a few more tricks up your sleeve. Seems we're all pretty much card related, so I would like to see a bit more, I don't know, like fire in a ball or something, but I guess that will have to do for now. But you know what? Pretty good. I can't cast spells. I can't do it. You know why? Because I got too much stuff up there. Not enough space for learning that sort of shit. So people like you, if you can keep it in your head, good for you. We can maybe help each other out sometime. You don't look the strongest, so if you ever need someone to hit someone really hard, I'm your guy.
I will keep it in mind, so, if we will ever fight against each other, I will make sure to keep you out of the combat as long as I can.
Why do you think we're going to be fighting each other, friend? Whoa, what's this fighting talk? You see he begins to look around and can I say a bit louder? Fight each other? No way, really? Oh, well, if I was you, he starts getting into whisper, I'd start making friends now, because if that is the case, these people, and he gestures over towards Mayceli, Cal, and Helen, they're a bit tricksy. I can see them having a few nasty tricks up their sleeve, and some of my guys as well. And he points over to Sorrel, the Aarakocra, as well as Ark, the Tiefling, the Wood Elf. They're a little bit tricksy themselves, so just keep an eye out, and if they start acting up, just let me know and I will take them out of the picture.
You mean my friends or yours?
And we're all friends, aren't we?
Yeah, we both are, yeah, but are you talking about my group or yours?
Bit of column A, bit of column B. Who would you say is the person we should look out for the most, friend?
I would say you must look out for yourself. That's
come on. Who's the
yourself.
strongest? Come on. You've been traveling for a while. I heard some of the stories. You must have seen some action. Some of them use their little tricks. You can tell me in private, don't worry. Just whisper. Just come on. You'll have to come down here, but come on, just whisper.
Just come closer to his ear and whisper if you are surrounded with rats, you need to play you need to play a rat as well.
So one of them's a druid. Got it. Okay. Understood.
Yeah, you see that gnome here? He is definitely a druid.
Shit. I'll keep it in mind. Thank you very much. Knowledge acquired. And he just continues to walk on. Mayceli.
So you want to roll deception for that one?
No, because he's fucking drunk. Mayceli, the entire time you've been walking alongside with Mushu by your side, you've seen the Aarakocra, this dark-feathered, kind of long-beaked Aarakocra, just watching from afar, but staring at the pseudo-dragon and you. And you notice that their eyes every so often just glaze over with a black shine, mainly white beforehand. And they just kind of go over every so often with this black shadow. They're just currently watching you. Is there anything that you do noticing that?
It's impolite to stare.
You say that to them, and you watch as he begins to approach. Well, I didn't know if I was allowed to talk. You seem quite quiet. So, may I come in and have your ear for a second?
Sure.
Where does that thing come from?
It's a good question. I don't know.
You don't know.
No.
Then why'd you have it around you then?
Because you always need friends on the road.
Okay. Resourceful. I can respect that. And this thing that listens to you?
Yeah.
Okay. I've got something a little similar. And you watch as they gesture over to an alleyway where the shadows kind of converge. And you just see this two red eyes just watching there as you walk past it. And then it just disappears. I've got a little buddy as well. He's always shy, though. So it's good to see that you have a friend with you who's not a... Can I give him a little pet?
Sure.
We'll go over and try and scratch the side of Mushu's face. Do you command Mushu to do anything?
No.
Okay. He just kind of scratches. Mushu is non-receptive for the most part. He just kind of takes it. You do see that he kind of recoils a little bit from the touch. And you get the sense that there was some... Mushu felt cold in that moment. Hopefully he's not too shy as we get to know each other a bit better. Well, my name is Sorrel, and I believe yours was...
Basically.
Macely. You know what? I can respect someone like you. You seem like quite a go-getter. You have a little creature around you. You seem quite strong-headed. It's very good to have, especially in a place like this where you can never know what corner you end up going down. In a labyrinth, a maze, you never know who to trust.
I know who we can trust.
Oh, really? Yourself?
I trust my party very much. Thank you.
Okay. Hey, look, I wasn't trying to sway you in any way. I trust my party quite well, but I don't know what's going to happen and whether I'm going to be sticking with them for so long. So the question that I have is, would you be willing to work alongside each other?
It depends if we have a common interest.
And what sort of interests do you have, Macely?
Not anything specific.
Oh, come on. Everyone has something. They said it themselves. We're all here for something. Some problem that's gonna get fixed. If you share me yours, I'll share you mine.
What makes you so sure that I have a problem?
Well, I'm not necessarily, but 5 out of 5 tells me that we all have something that we want or need or would like fixing. All of the people in Life's Echo, they all have a drive. They're all here with a purpose. So I'm sure...
What if I just want to help people?
Hey, look, that's good as well. I'm not here to say that's bad or good. fuck, Sallow, he's a nitwit, and all he wants is money, gold, fame. That's it. And some people, that's all they want. But to help people, that's courageous, and that's something that I can get behind. I want something quite similar. I want to find out who I am, what that fucking thing is. And it gestures over to the shadow once more, the red eyes. And yeah, if I can help people in the meantime, then I will.
So you don't know what it is either, your friend.
Well, I have an idea of what it is, but I've not seen it. It's always in the shadows, always watching from afar.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, kind of creepy when you're trying to sleep at night, but luckily enough, I don't have to sleep too often.
I didn't need to know that, but thank you for sharing.
Yeah, well, just keep an eye out when you sleep, I guess. I call him Freddy.
Freddy. Okay.
Yeah, well, since he hasn't introduced me. Isn't that right, Freddy? He just shouts down the alleyway, the eyes just looking back, making no response. Yeah, same as always.
Well, this has been weird. Thank you for the talk.
No, thank you. He just continues walking alongside you.
Ew. Can I try to lose him? Walk faster, walk slower?
Yes, of course you can. You see he kind of gets it, and he's like, yeah, I don't want to be here either. It's getting awkward. I'm going to move on. And he just begins to discuss with one of his other party members.
Great.
During all of this, you're taken through the slums, and you're about at the halfway point now. You see the rest of the other group, as well as your own party members, discussing, chatting amongst themselves. Is there anything else that you wish to discuss whilst you have this time? Before you kind of get within a closed area, your final destination, wherever you're going to end up. This might be the only time that you have to confer amongst yourselves without prying ears. Up to you.
I will just whisper to Olrin. Do we have any plan going into? Or just improvise? That's the only plan?
I mean, do we even know what's going to happen? It's hard to plan for something you don't know of.
Oh, I mean, the other group was waiting for us, so probably with quite high probability it will be some sort of test, either knowledge, power, or abilities.
Possibly. They did suggest that we might be in a competition. But, well, it's not... Who's to say that the ones present here aren't all one team? I'd rather wait a bit, see what our elusive nobleman has to say.
Do we have free reigns? Can I do whatever I want there? Just so you would be aware, I might be how to say a bit pushy when it comes down to getting the information which would be needed, or important for me.
I mean, do what you please, but remember, that nobleman seemed nice enough until now. I mean, he paid for our lodging, although I don't know if he doesn't know us. And he specifically invited all of us. But despite his mysteriousness, let's try to keep it friendly.
I can certainly try.
If you wish to discuss anything with the two helpers that are here, you do have Caroline and Richter as well. They seem open to conversation. You see a couple of them, including Pietrgrana, kind of walking up alongside Caroline and just talking to her. They seem to have somewhat of a friendly exchange. They've spoken before, it seems, several occasions whilst waiting for you guys to arrive. You see that she's just kind of going through the rigmarole of some questions here. But if you guys want to talk to them, they're open to talk.
I actually want to have like a conversation, so I will like fasten my pace and try to, get next to them and look at Caroline.
Yeah, sure. As soon as you approach, you hear the kind of conversation beginning to wind down, as Pithgrana is kind of just going through some questions. So, we're finally going to be entering the estate. And what is the procedure? What are we supposed to be doing next? Are we going to meet this lord together, alone? What is the plan? Caroline continued to walk straight ahead and kind of turning and kind of just discussing with her. Well, you don't have to. It's going to be all right. It's just going to be an open conversation. So don't worry about it too much. It is. Just think of it as talking to an old friend. Lord Hussar is a very gentle man, and he is very open to discussion. As I'd mentioned before, I know you all have questions, and these questions will be answered. You see Pithgrana just rolls her eyes and allows you to kind of take the conversation away.
Do you know if there are any etiquette rules, or what should we do? Or what should we do, like, do not do in any circumstances? Like,
well, treat the Lord's home as you would your own. Try not to be disturbing the peace. He has a big estate. There's plenty of ground to cover. You may walk around it as you like. Every place is open except for the upper stairs. That is his lodging, and not even myself or Richter go up there. That's for him and him alone. But you'll most likely meet him at the stairs. And I imagine, she turns to Pithgrana, I haven't been informed of every step-by-step process here, but I think that the Lord wants to have a conversation with each one of you individually. So if you have any questions ready for the Lord himself, you have the utmost discretion. Whatever happens and is discussed within his presence won't be spilled anywhere else. You can ask him all the questions you like. And if you would like to cast spells, those of you who can, that is completely fine as well. As long as you don't damage anything within the property, I'm sure you're going to want to look around. But I assure you, all of this is done in good faith.
we leave our weapons outside the discussion room, or
You may take them with you. If that makes you feel better, you may take them alongside. We do not
Okay.
believe that you will cause any harm to the Lord or ourselves. We've all come here willingly. So, what would be the point of sharing blood?
Oh, no. It just like I feel safer when I have my possessions.
And accent, that's completely fine. Just take the weapons with you, as well as your spell focus.
And do you mind sharing some bits of information about Sir Hassan? Who is he?
Well,
where he came from?
Lord
Why
Hussar
did-
has been here in this estate for many years. Myself and Richter were brought into his care at a young age, and we have been a part of the estate since very young. He is our mentor. Although we see very little of him, he is a man of his word. If there is something that he has promised, he will get it for you.
Did you
But he is
already
not a
receive-
man that sees much public. He's quite a private individual. So to have an audience with him is quite an outstanding feat.
And what each of us do, like, to deserve such a fate?
And that would be for him to say. We don't know his thoughts and why he chose each one of you. I'm sure there were others that just never arrived. But as part of that letter, everyone on that letter's here. So I guess he was right on something.
Yeah, that's right. But if you don't mind me asking, did you receive what you were promised? I don't need, like, details of what and how, but he did something for you that you are so confident in his abilities and his good faith?
The Lord himself has provided much for the both of us. Yet what I seek is to come within the completion of whatever you seek. This is a joint effort, after all.
But some of us just desire, are into this thing just for money. So, are you willing to help them too?
I see no ill intent amongst all of you. Sure, some ideas are skewed to that of mine, but that does not make us enemies. We just have different goals.
Yeah, I mean, true. I just wanted to see your perspective on this, whole, assembly.
Certainly.
But again, how much do you know about us? I'm just curious. How much has Thor has told you?
The Lord knows much more than he lets on. He is quite an insightful fellow. But he has shared some general information, nothing diving into specifics, only the basics. I understand of your situation, Axon, as well as the rest of your group. And it is funny. We did not orchestrate for any one particular person to fall into the road of the other, but it seems as though two groups have formed naturally. Which is an odd twist of fate, wouldn't you say?
I mean, it might be a fate. It might be just lucky occurrence or accident.
Indeed. Well, we're nearly there now. But if you have any more questions, both myself and Richter are happy to help. And don't worry, relax. You'll be living a life of luxury in a moment. All the drinks, all the food you can think of will be provided for you. Just ask myself or Richter to prepare anything that you like.
Can I make an insight check and see from
Of course you
her
can.
body movement if it's really what she believes in, or is there somewhere hints of not ill intent, but misunderstanding, and which might come as an ill intent.
I'd also like to get a read on that person, so I'll also roll one.
Sure. 24. Okay. Axon, you see a very although her form and posture is very kind of precise, she seems to be walking with intention. Her stride has not been kind of broken up by the floor. She kind of walks at the same cadence as anyone would. Even going up a flight of stairs at some instance, you see she just continues to go at a regular pace. But she continues to answer your questions without any kind of loss of breath. Very direct, very to the point, answering your questions as they come. You don't sense any sort of dubiousness behind her. She does say everything with a quite wide smile. And one thing I will say maybe that you pick up on is that she is very, whenever she mentions the Lord, Lord Hassar, there is a sense of adoration towards this figure. Whether this is something dangerous or if this is a natural occurrence, something that she's just developed over time, you can't really get a bead of, but there is that sense of like devotion. She is quite focused on him.
Is it like a frenetic devotion or just like adoration, like in...
With a 10, you can't really see between the lines. You're picking up on the vibe, but you're not sure which way it swings. For Olrin, as you're kind of like listening idly by the sides, you do hear her words kind of ring true. And when she does mention the the point of where Axon had asked her if she had received what she was asking for, you do see at one point her eyes dart towards Richter for a moment, and you could sense like a glare, like an intense glare in his way, but then it's kind of like softened once more by the conversation itself. You're not sure. They seem to have quite a good relationship, but you're kind of picking up that there is a little bit of a rivalry between the two. Even though it's not seen on the surface, they seem quite similar. There is this kind of like underlying rivalry between Coraline and Richter that you're picking up. And he walks quite far back. He's not in earshot. He's not listening to the conversation, but you just kind of pick that up. In terms of what she says, you gather that she's being truthful. Nothing that she said has been with a hint of lie. She is probably filling in more of the gaps than she knows. So some of it is a little bit theoretical. It does seem that this figure, Lord Hassar, that she speaks of, is held in this high adoration, but there is also he's the boss and we don't question what he wants to do. We believe that he does the right thing. So just filling in the gaps when he cannot speak. Anything else you wish to discuss before you arrive at the estate?
One more question. You mentioned that we naturally form teams and some machination of fate. Was it your intent that teams would eventually be formed, or is there any significance to forming teams?
Roll a persuasion check.
Okay.
She looks towards you. Well, it was never our intention to form any teams or alliances. It seems as though the natural order of things has just made that so. In terms of what your goal will be, there is a shared goal that is in mind. Whether that will be divided between all of you or split up individually, we do not know. The only thing that I can tell you is that Hassar has molded both myself and Richter into the roles that we have. And his intentions with that, we don't truly know. But I think your analysis of a potential lineup could be true. I've heard some rumors already between Pithgrana and the rest of her troop that there have been thoughts, whispers that something like this might be happening. And I guess this is best question to be asked to the Lord himself. If not, I'm sure it'll become apparent soon enough. We don't want you all waiting around to see what happens. There is going to be some work put in for all of you. To get your reward, you must do something. Arriving here is a feat, but this is only the first step in your journey.
Oh. Mentioning potential competition, you seem to be competitive with Richter as well.
You see that she kind of smiles and kind of looks up to the sky for a moment. I guess so. When you live together for so long, I guess that rivalry just seems to bloom, you could say. There's no one else in the estate. There's only the three of us. And I only see Lord Hassar every week or so, once, twice. Maybe that's it. But I see Richter every day. So perhaps that is what you're gleaming.
Possibly. But speaking of fate and its machinations, it's curious that we have two teams and two guides.
It is, isn't it? Well, we're here now, so let's see what happens. You see she kind of steps around the corner and gestures out to this lodge, surrounded by mostly stacked up buildings to the left and the right. In the very center, hidden from sight from far away, you see this large manor house. Perimeter fence wrapped around the entire thing. Very Gothic in style, standing out quite differently to the general same looking building everywhere else. This building here stands out like a sore thumb. You see peaked roofs as well as kind of draped over sides with almost this kind of Gothic statues and a very well presented estate. And although the bars that surround it, these kind of metal iron fences, seem to be slightly rusted in areas, the building itself in the center is perfectly left behind. It's perfectly left as is. Almost like time hasn't touched it. There is a large gate at the front, and you can see Coraline walking up with a large ring of keys attached to her side. She begins to look through them, and she finds out of maybe 80 keys on this keychain, straight away the key for this lock, and undoes it and opens it. As it opens, a heavy creaking sound, and you see for a moment she looks at it. That'll need some oiling. She just takes a mental note as she opens it up and allows all of you to walk in. You can see the entrance is paved, as well as a large kind of garden surrounding the main building itself. From afar, the building looks to have about 3 floors, and from just a guess, you're imagining around 15 or so bedrooms attached to this place. It is huge in size. As you grow closer, you hear the metallic gate close behind, the key locked in place. Don't worry, this is all just precautionary measures. We like to make sure that the Lord is safe. You see that she kind of waits there for a moment. Richter now kind of leading your troop and everyone else to the main doors. You head through, he walks up, and you see he has almost the exact duplicate of keychain with the same keys attached, and he finds the first one to unlock this door as well. The doors themselves are built for perhaps a giant or so. They are tall and wide, and he kind of unlocks them there, opens up, and you can see the interior of this lavish Gothic Victorian interior. Large open hallway, giant pieces of furniture as well as armor on full display. Brilliant crafts for Ulrin. You are slobbering at the mouth almost, seeing all of these very finely crafted elements of stonework, metalwork, and some finely crafted paintings as well, depicting all sorts of images across them. As soon as you all enter, there is this kind of very fresh smell that you can scent in the air, almost like fresh plucked flowers, just kind of scented around. This open hall continues forward to a large set of stairs that lead upwards, tee off and rise at the sides, and continue to the upper floors. Meanwhile, to the left and the right, you see a large living room space, as well as this kind of almost homely large hearth burning alongside a kind of bookshelf study area. You see Richter steps forward and kind of just addresses all of you. Welcome all of you to the Hussar estate. You may walk along the halls as you see fit, take in the surroundings, take a chair, and we will be gathering Lord Hussar himself. I'm sure that he will want to discuss things individually, but we will let him know of your arrival. So please, take a seat, and if you wish to dine and wine, Coraline will be able to serve you whatever you wish. Treat this place as if it were your own. And you see he gives a half bow, and then he begins to take a long walk up to the stairs and disappear from view. And you are left with Coraline. The rest of the group, Life's Echo, they begin to just kind of spread out a little bit. Some of them begin to head towards the fireplace, others towards the dining area, others begin to go straight to the kitchen for some booze, that is specifically the gnome, Sallow. And yeah, you're left to your devices. So what would you guys like to do now that you have some time to wait in the estate?
I forgot to mention, but can I tell that I started to cast like detect magic as a ritual when we were on the road?
Sure. Doing it as a ritual does mean you have to kind of stay still, but I'll allow you. You have time to kind of mess around. So if you want to just ritual cast, I'll allow it. So the magic is now present.
If
you want to
magic?
just roll a perception, arcana, or investigation check. Either one, up to you.
22.
You can see that there is a presence of magic here. You can see there is magic along the door. There is magic along the suits of armor that are placed here. You can see magic embedded in the walls themselves. There is magic flowing throughout this estate. You can even see pillars themselves that seem to be radiating magic. The fireplace radiates magic. There is magic pouring through almost every nook and cranny of this estate. And you sense all of the different magics here. You see alteration, conjuration, and everything in between. It is a place built for the rich and has been enchanted for their needs. One thing you do notice, looking through all of these, is you do see that there are some traps, let's just say. There's, towards the door itself, you can sense there is a strong evocation magic, which isn't natural for there to be on some sort of lock. As well, you can sense that there is a conjuration magic in the suits of armor. There is also alteration magic in the frame paintings, and you can see that images seem to move. Not illusion, alteration, which means that something inside them is probably waiting. But yeah, you see different elements here and there. You get the sense that this place is well fortified, even though they kind of said that the door is locked for his safety.
I will, discreetly notify the group of those dangers, so they will be aware in like worst case scenario. And I would like to look for that wood elf, which were like silently present in the tavern.
Yeah, she has not spoken a word at all. You can see that she is currently standing alongside Pithgrana as Pithgrana is talking to them, never really reciprocating anything back from her, but she's just in a conversation.
Oh, yeah, and
Gently.
then I will just move, like, examining the area, like looking around, move a bit
Mhm.
closer. No, not like really trying to actively how did it called, like to listen, or
Yeah.
eardrop or eye drop. I don't know.
Yeah,
Eavesdrop.
eavesdrop.
Yeah,
Mhm.
eavesdrop. Yeah. But just I wanted more or less to take a closer look to that. That would help because it's
Sure, yeah.
I'm kind of curious about
Roll
this.
an Arcana check at advantage as you're kind of delving into what they're capable of.
Oh, it's
Okay.
21.
You notice that the gauntlet that they have on their right hand is glowing with magic. You sense many different schools of magic, but one thing is for certain. It's seeped in blood magic. You can sense that whatever sort of necrotic energy that is absorbed into this gauntlet seems to amplify her itself. It also seems to be a focus of sorts, like a spell casting focus, so she does know some abilities. But for you specifically, you understand that a lot of these abilities are entwined with primal energies, which is the stuff around the world, the very powerful rooted magic, but as well blood magic. That seems to be a thing that she seems to radiate. And as you're kind of looking through, you can see that her throat itself has no line of magic. No magic seems to be pumping from the face down to the neck. The neck seems to be almost completely hollow of any sort of energy. Very similar to your foot in particular. Your foot doesn't have magic that flows through it, and her throat doesn't seem to have the same.
Okay, so it's basically also have no connection to the wave, like this.
Mhm.
Well, then I will just approach them and not hiding, just try to wave like friendly,
Mhm.
if they would allow, of course, join their one-sided conversation.
You see Pithgrana just gestures over and yes, what is it, Axan? What can we help you with? Are you as confused as we are to this interior?
Yes, it's quite a fancy place you got there. You said you never visited it before. You were left, or you were waiting for us. You're not.
That is right. We've only ever seen the exterior of this place, never been in ourselves. It is much more elaborate than we thought. We tried to throw some eyes inside. Soril tried to use his magic to perceive what was on the other side of these walls, but we could not. There were wards in place. It seems that this estate is very not kind to prying eyes, which is understandable for someone so private.
Yeah, but didn't it get your interest? It didn't get your interest. Like, why they are so discreet and private? Like, what are
Well,
they
since we're
hiding?
being honest, Salo did try to break in, but he did not find a suitable entrance. He had tried through the chimney, but it did not work.
You mean that drunkard or someone else?
As much as he is a drunkard, he is a useful tool. He is very nimble and can get through a tight space. He's good at what he does.
He has a bit more that catches the eye. Some abilities.
Well, I've seen the road with him quite a few times. When he isn't drinking, he is quite a threat. He can be quite a strong enemy, combatant. So I would take it easy with what you say when he is inebriated. He remembers. He's made sure that he remembers.
Oh, okay. Yeah, thank you for your tip. By the way, I was actually quite curious when I forgot the name. The Coraline said that we assembled like two groups, like somehow naturally.
Mm.
Do you mind how or sharing how you all met, or where did you all meet?
Of course, I had met Ark, and she gestures over to the wood elf. We had met before quite a few times, actually. We had had some dealings within Duskwind, back and forth. She was a trained blood hunter of the Institute itself, but she has been stricken by an illness which leaves her incapable of speech, even telepathy. She has been rendered completely useless of any ability to communicate. But she can still understand. She nods to that.
Did she try to write on a piece of paper? Would this work?
We have tried that as well, and it seems to not have any effect. The time that she puts her hand to paper, it just does not seem to work. Tremors in her hand would stop her from giving what is on her mind. We do not know why this is, but this is something that has been a constant since I've known her. So this is an issue that she's had. Even with sign language, we have tried to communicate with her, but she does not seem to pick it up. Any sort of communication is just faltered. I imagine that is why she is here. Quite a straightforward question, if you ask me. But she has been very kind and an honorable sword at our side. And she gives a stern nod and kind of gestures to the gauntlet. Ah, right, not a sword, a gauntlet, yes.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of understand, yeah, or state or, I mean, troubles, and I look at her. You have my condolences, and I hope you will get your cure soon, because it's, yeah, quite understandable and quite a nightmare to live in this state. So I do hope that we will not face each other, and you will get the cure.
She nods and kind of gives a solid salute in your direction. And she just smiles and kind of holds up her fist and just lets go, as if letting loose of the grip. She looks towards you, shakes her head. I think she's trying to say that she's not here to fight either, but I've been telling her time and time again that I don't think that's the case. I think we are expected to do some dirty dealings at least. Get our hands messy.
Like, I know that I might just overstep my boundaries or your boundaries more, but I kinda get. Do you know how she got that curse, or how she got cursed, or it's like because I kinda sense that quite strange and something like, you know, like how to say it, like strange phenomena which I never seen before, like coming out from like the area around her throat. Can it be the case of that curse, or the source of that curse?
Pithgrana looks at her for a moment, for a sense of, do you want me to tell him? I'd like you to roll a persuasion check.
I'm not very good at those. Yep, that's a 6.
Okay. You see, she looks with a stern look towards Pithgrana. I think with time she will perhaps loosen up a bit, and she would want to discuss what has happened to her. But I can tell you that she has had this affliction since she was very young. She was in the Institute for a long time. I have known her in that place, going up the tiers and different rankings there. She is an honorable fighter, and if there is a prize to be won, she is definitely deserving of it. But her story is for her to say. If she wishes for me to share, she will tell me.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I understand that we are just strangers, which, like, to meet like hours ago. We don't, like, and quite understandable that you don't want to share your courses and sources of your courses or any actually private information with others. So, if, like, I would stumble upon the cure, I will share it, or this, let you know. Look, and I look at the arc. Was it right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So, in the time or after some time, you can, like, see that, or I can prove it to you that you can. Maybe not trust me completely, but at least that, like, you will understand that I had my share or my fill with the curses, so I do know how you feel.
Mm-hmm. She nods and kind of puts a hand on your shoulder and just kind of thanks you for that statement. With that, I'm just going to go over to Mace Seeley quickly. Is there anything that you want to do in this estate whilst you wait?
It's a good question. I actually just want to look around for like I want to look at the decorations, like just chill anything about people who are here. Like,
yeah. Okay.
To like kind of figure out what kind of person is this.
Yeah, definitely. If you could roll, this would be a history or insight check, whichever one you want to go for, since you're looking at art and trying to understand the person behind it.
History.
Okay. Looking around and seeing the different bits here and there, you go throughout the estate. There's many different kind of rooms to go through, and as you're walking through, Cal will probably join you, just kind of watching and looking around as well. You head through the library area, this nice little study, which is quite a cozy little space. There's only 3 chairs that are within this area. Well used, seem like the 3 people that live in this estate seem to go down here fairly often. There are books that are left open, but there is one kind of set of books which is stacked up quite high next to a small chair. And you can see that those books are, there's a layer of dust over them, but one of them is currently open and unbound. And you can see that this is probably where the lord of the place seems to sit. The seat is much more regal. It has more of a better spot amongst the fireplace. The other one seems to be a bit more smaller. The books that seem to be present here are books on historical facts around the world, seemingly delving into not just the material plane, but also the Shadowfell. You can see that there is a story which is kind of, as you look through the pages and just look on the glossary at the back, seems to be a historical point of view of what seemed to lie in the Shadowfell itself, what stems from it. And one of the theories you find, it's mainly theories because proven is hard to say, but it seems that the Shadowfell, through this book, is the origin of life. It seems that there is something in the Shadowfell which is a wellspring of information and potential. There is stories which related to a single god known as Teller, the god of stories, who has written many tales about this specific area itself. It's known as the wellspring of creation, a place where anyone can go and become a great power, finding what they're seeking, but there is a cost. To find whatever you wish for always has some other very chaotic side to it. This Teller has told the tale of himself finding this wellspring of creation and becoming this godly figure that now everyone cheers for and prays to. You had seen many different areas of the world who have Teller as one of their kind of main supporters, main gods. And it's said that his appearance in the pantheon was due to that wellspring. But this is only his point of view. There is no other facts or mention of how this has happened. But the theory and the story goes that the Shadowfell is seemingly a place where everyone can become something greater. And that book is just left there, it seems. And you can see history as well of the other planes just written down. You see in the stack of books, there is the plane of Earth, its rulers, and who currently governs it, as well as the fire plane, the many layers of hell. You can see that there just seems to be a historical look through of the different worlds. The material plane doesn't seem to be there. Doesn't seem to be of note for this individual. So you just see that. As well, if you want to go back to those, just let me know. But as well as you're looking through, you can see the different paintings that Axon had previously whispered to you to have some sort of magical effect. You can see them in action now. They are, think of them as like the Harry Potter moving pictures in the newspapers. They are pictures left there, embedded in the wall, and they look like you can almost step through them. There is almost a 3D element to them where the foreground is slightly closer and the background stretches ever so far, so that you cannot even see what's depicted on the hills or in the background itself. But there are 5 pictures that probably stand out to you the most. One of them seems to be a very noble hero of sorts in this very kind of stalwart position. Their form is slightly ethereal. You cannot tell if it is a male or female figure, but their armor glimmers with a holy shine that shines through the painting. And the weapon that they carry by their sides is a large great sword that is just held on their shoulder. Another depiction seems to be that of a twisted forest. You see this kind of very spooky, as though the branches themselves begin to stretch out around the frame of the painting. And you can see there is a mist of energy that seems to flow out as well. In the brambles themselves, the twisted thorns of this depiction of a dark and gloomy forest, you can see that there is not dolls, but almost like those Russian nesting dolls. You see different ones of those, like painted little ceramics of a person's identity. It looks like different colored people, different races, different backgrounds, several of them just placed within these brambles. And looking at them, at first you see 3, but then they continue further behind. And you see around 9 there present, all encaptured in these kind of twisted brambles. Moving on to the other paintings that you see, some of them just seem to be general landscapes that don't really provide much information. Very bright, welcoming kind of coastline that looks out onto a floral bed of sorts. But the skyline is filled with brilliant colors and swirling lights that seem to just go back and forth. This seems to be a depiction of perhaps the Fey realm. As well, you can see other images here, just depicting different places around the world. The bits of armor that you can see on display seem to be that of noble knighthood. Some of them have very garish plumage along the head, very kind of opulent, standouting, and they are ranging in size. Some of them are probably medium-sized, others are slightly larger, a bit more of a bulkier individual seem to have worn them, but there are no names attached to them. You just see different, almost historical collections that have been gathered over the years. As well, the furniture is all nicely made as well. Going through and circling to different areas, you can see statues dedicated here. Statues seem to be very different in design. One of them looks almost lifelike. You see this human, almost looking woman, but there is a slight tip to the ears, which make you assume that she is half elven. But you see she is wearing this very long gown, held there in a very almost pensive stance. But the statue itself is almost completely realized as it stands there at a full-sized humanoid. Even the cloth itself almost drapes and seems to have a flow to it. But as soon as you touch or kind of get near, you see that it feels like it goes hard again. It goes solid, as though it is a carving. It is something made. It's not a person. But they seem to be depicted in a very nice manner. There are other bits here and there that you can see across the estate, but they kind of catch your eye. In terms of the character that you get from them, you get someone who is perhaps some more explorative, someone who has a background in knightlyhood or some sort of royal tie, or perhaps someone who is just a general collector, and these are just things that he's found.
Would this look like Maisley's own home? Like, would she be like, oh, kind of like?
I'd say, yeah, there's elements of it that seem quite familiar, because there is kind of like the odd knickknacks here and there and some niceties left around that you would have had at your place. But I'd say that the theme and the style are probably a little bit different in comparison to what your house would be filled with.
Okay. I really want to try to stick my hand in one of the paintings to see if it like disappears
Sure, yeah.
into it.
Which one would you like to put your hand into?
Oh no. One that doesn't have like, the one that kind of look like the Fey realm, you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like the shoreline, the
Yeah.
plains.
So it's
Okay,
more,
yeah.
does my hand go through it, or does it just like stop at a wall?
You put your hand against it, and you keep reaching and reaching and reaching, and your hand goes in, and you find as though you could probably walk into this painting. As soon as your hand goes in all the way, you almost see your hand itself begin to have this like acrylic look to it, to where your hand becomes paint, essentially. You see as though it's been painted, and as you move your fingers to feel the space, you see it's like liquid at some points, kind of moving and being brushed and realized as though a painter would have painted it. As well, it seems to be slightly blurred at some points. But as well, as you are reaching through, you get the sense of very floral smells. This seems to be the origin of where that kind of floral scent is in this space. It seems to be flooding through this painting. And you can also smell the seaside as well.
Okay. I want to try one of the other paintings.
Sure, which one?
It doesn't really matter which one, because I don't remember everything.
Yeah, sure.
So just the one that's closest to the painting. I have my hand in. I'll take my hand out. I'll stick my hand in that one.
Okay. You reach over to the one with like that suit of armor, the person that was kind of depicted.
Yeah.
You reach through, and you can touch the armor. You can feel the metal, the cold metal of the armor which is being depicted in this painting, as well as you feel the person itself. The arms, everything about the person behind the armor is blurred, but you can feel the arms which are painted on. You can feel the gauntlets that they wear in their hands. You can touch the metal of the greatsword behind them. Everything is realized here.
That is super fucking weird. I say that to Kel.
He just kind of looks over. No, I think this is pretty cool. You see, Cal's probably thinking, I want to put my head in, I want to put my head in, I want to put my head in, but is probably not because of Olren being present.
I note that you can. That's it's really weird. I don't know what to do with this information. I'm gonna try to find the others.
Okay, sure. Whilst you try and find the others, we'll just jump to Olren quickly. Olren, is there anything you'd like to do here?
Yep. Olren is pretty much like a kid in a candy store. I also activate Detect Magic,
Mm-hmm.
But I want to look specifically at basically the magic circuitry, how it's assembled, how this marvel of a magical manner has been created.
Sure, if you could roll a history check at advantage to just get a
Okay.
general understanding of this place.
I'll try. Okay, 14.
Okay. Okay. With a 14, the first thing you get straight away as a sense is the building came first. The building came first, and everything that's been enchanted onto it came after. The structure of the building, everything else seems to be real, fixated. The magic that you can see going in and out through the different parts of it, even the stone crenellations that you're seeing through your detect magic and using your kind of knowledge and history, you can see that some of these columns that hold the building up are false. Some of them don't actually exist, and you can walk through them. But you don't, because you notice that there is weaponry that is left inside of them, hidden away from sight. You can see pole arms, different serrated blades left inside there to be activated and triggered through some sort of mechanism a fair ways away. As well, looking through, the enchantments here all seem to be done by a very skilled enchanter. You're picturing the work of someone who was perhaps a Moradin specialist in this. A bit of abjuration work mixed in with the rest of the schools of magic to create this everlasting estate. And it does seem to be the case, because on first look from the exterior, the building was pristine, as though it's never been touched, whilst everything else around it seemed to have some sort of decay. That's because the entire estate is enchanted. You sense that even the carpets, the rugs, the utensils, everything in this place has been enchanted some way or other, whether to keep it in that pristine condition or to have some other effect, be it malicious or protective. It is a very strange establishment that you find here. And as well, the main thing that you notice, every room you go into, no matter what sort of magic is present, the one that seems to focus the hardest is anti-divination. The ability to not see in through these walls. Every place has been completely cleansed of that, which leaves you in kind of a good sensation that you're never going to be watched if you're in here. No eyes are ever going to be cast on you without you seeing the person present.
Okay, then I suppose Oren will spend some time taking notes, maybe trying to rack his memory whether he can attribute this creation to some Moradin priest or some person of renown.
If you could just roll a religion check to see if a name comes to mind.
Number 14.
14. Looking through your memory banks to see if there's a name that springs up. You remember receiving, or at least picking up, the book of Moradin from the temple. You skim through that quickly and have looked through it since to the different chapters that were written in there. You had seen chapters dedicated to creativity, alteration, dedication, honor, titles, lineage. It is the one that titles seems to kind of go back into your mind. In titles, they speak of name, a name being powerful, and that no forged weapon, magical enchantment can be made without having a name provided to it. A name is a staple to anything. It is to a person, it is to an item, it is to a place. and you're getting the sense that this place, the Hassar estate, has been given that name and has been enriched by it, and is entitled to the person who asked for it to be done. Which also leaves you to believe that perhaps this place could go anywhere. That just kind of goes into your mind.
Then, yeah, Oren will continue to marvel at this entire thing, try to figure out its workings,
Mm-hmm.
what it can do, what it cannot do, and basically just take notes, try to incorporate certain techniques.
Okay. As Mycelia begins to kind of run back to find the rest of you as you're going through your own findings of the estate, you do hear this almost like a repetitive 3 knocking. You hear just this kind of just echo throughout the hall. It seems to be coming from above. So that leaves many of you looking up towards the staircase, and you can hear that 3 steps continue. You hear a door open, and then you hear the door close and the steps finish altogether. Walking down the stairs, you see Richter. He addresses all of you. Well, Lord Hassar will be ready to see you, but the interview process will be one by one. It is just a chat, some questions he has for each one of you, without others being present. So please, if we could start with, and he gestures over, but you see the gnome Sallow just begin to step forward. No, I'm gonna go first. Fuck this. I don't want to be here any longer if I can. Don't worry, guys. I'll put in a good word for you. And he just continues to walk up. You see the others kind of step forward, try and stop him. Never mind. As Richter just, very well. And he just continues up with him. As this is going to happen, we are going to go to a quick break, a little 5-10 minute break. You guys will be next in that order, but we're just going to have a quick break now just to get a drink, and see you in a bit. Hello and welcome back. So, where we last left off, the interviews were beginning, and the gnome Sallow had brutishly pushed himself to the front to get his out of the way. So, as the rest of you wait, the interview takes around 5 or 10 minutes or so until Sallow begins to walk back down. You can see he's accompanied by Richter. Richter went up with him, went back down with him, followed him all the way. You just see the gnome kind of walking there, just kind of proud to himself. It's like, guys, don't worry about it. He's harmless. He's not even there, for fuck's sake. Looks at Richter. Well, he was there. You just didn't see him. It's not my fault that you cannot perceive your surroundings, Sallow. Thank you very much for your interview. Next, could we ask that... Let's see. Cal, please, if you could come up. You see Cal kind of look a bit surprised and begin to head up. You see everyone else begins to go towards Sallow, and you just hear Pietrgrana talk to him. So what is it that he wanted? What did he ask you? What were the questions? Tell us everything that you know, Sallow. You see he just looks up. Like, I'll be honest, he just started asking me some questions. It was quite quiet. He didn't really seem receptive to my questions, at least. And I don't know why he wouldn't be. I just asked him, why the fuck are we all here? Who the fuck is he? Yeah. Well, clearly your charm didn't strike a chord with him. Well, I don't know what you're talking about, Pietrgrana. He seems to be all right. He's not going to bite your head off, so don't worry about it. You can calm down. Look, easy peasy. He's going to ask a few questions. Just answer them, and we can all get out of here as quick as possible. I'm going to need a drink. Coraline, can I get a martini, please? Yes, certainly. I can make you a martini. And she just begins to create his drink for him. But yeah, unless you guys want to wait, you can talk now. But yeah, next interviews will be going through.
Did he seem kind of sincere in his emotions as he was coming out, or did he seem like he was kind of trying to like bluff, like
you can roll an insight check to see how he was, and anyone can if you want to try and read a half drunk man. Okay, 18.
Okay, yeah, I will also roll just in case.
Sure.
I mean, I almost know what I will get, but
all right. Helen, you kind of read some of his emotional state, his sentiment, and you can sense that there is almost like a bit of a bluff that he seems to be doing at the moment. He speaks with this kind of air of honesty, but you get the sense that maybe he was like put down a peg. Like his conversation perhaps left him a bit less full of himself. Although he's trying to bring that persona back. He's like, yeah, okay. Just walking around, but you get the sense that perhaps someone's had a stern talking to him. After some time, eventually Cal returns down from the stairs. You can see he kind of has a bit of a wide grin on his face, I guess, as he just joins the rest of you. Richter looks over. All right, next we will have Pietrgrana. Please join us. And she begins to head up. You now have Cal with you, who has experienced what's happened. You see, he just kind of looks at you guys. Well, that was a little bit weird. But,
Did you put your head in?
No, I didn't. There was nothing to put my head in, so I was okay. To be honest, I didn't see the guy either, so I don't know what Richter was saying. But seemed nice enough. Asked a few questions, I answered them. I asked my questions, he answered them. Seems like we're all here for some task. Got that at least. And he seems to know a lot more about me, at least. don't know if to be concerned by that or just take it as it is. I'm not sure.
Did you ask for the payment for what you want, or like what shall we do to receive what we were promised in that letter?
I wasn't that specific, but I did ask some questions. I said, how do they know me? How do they know my situation? They seem to know my brother, which was strange, but he answered everything quite honestly and yeah, a bit creepily. So he seems to have been watching all of us for a while, it seems.
And did you you haven't seen him because he was hidden, or like was it dark there, or like
It seemed like he was talking through a wall.
Oh,
I don't know, there was this big mirror, nice furniture, like nice little study area, but I didn't see anyone. But I think he was probably behind there. Probably looking at me through the mirror. What a weird guy.
oh, so
Maybe
it's
it's a
one-sided
little off.
mirror.
Maybe. I don't know. I've not had much experience with those. So, as Cal just begins to ramble on a little bit more, you see that Pythagorana comes down, and now Richter looks to all of you. Could I ask for Ulrin to join us,
Certainly.
please? And Richter begins to lead the charge. We're going to focus on Ulrin for a moment as you walk up the stairs.
Before I do that,
Yes.
I would like to have made sure that I still have uptime on Detect Magic when I go up there.
Yep, that's fine. Detect Magic's still active. Walking up the stairs, you see that there are more flights above. As soon as you reach this first plateau, where the stairs ascend to the left and the right, you can see that there's another kind of winding staircase that leads up higher. But you're not going any further. You're just going up this one flight of stairs to the left. And you can see Richter guiding you the way. Several rows of different rooms, it seems. The main area itself seems to be this very lavish dining space with very large trophies on the walls. You can see monsters depicted on these walls, creatures that you've read in stories, fables, that are here. You see creatures like beholders, you see a manticore, you see different creatures from myth and actuality seen here and present. But they all seem to be either statues, carvings, or perhaps the creatures stuff. But Richter guides you to the first door, and he opens it for you. And he just says, please, if you could just step inside, there is a chair there for you to relax. You can walk around if you wish, but he'll be asking you questions. So answer as you wish.
Yes, I'll do that. Thank you.
No worries. You head through, doors close behind you for complete secrecy between you and him. And as you walk in, you can see there is one large single chair in the middle, almost like part of a sofa, large and very cushioned. The rest of the surroundings are different mirrors, images, pictures here and there, all very kitted out with a lot to see. Almost slightly over-sensory with how much there is in this room. It feels a little cluttered, but you find that chair and you sit down. You see in front of you the large mirror, which is as big as the walls themselves, and you see your reflection in it. Is there anything you do as you walk in?
Yes, I'd like to have a look around throughout the room.
Mm-hmm. You look around with your Detect Magic active, and you can see that the pictures themselves seem to be moving, same as the ones downstairs. But you can see depictions of people in them, and the depictions seem to be moving. You see them oscillating back and forth. None of them seem to be talking, dialoguing between each other, but in their own frames, they seem to have some sort of motion. And you can see some empty frames there as well, alongside mirrors and other things that hang on the wall. All of them seem to be magically enchanted, in some way or fashion. Illusionary, alteration, both mixed in. The mirror itself doesn't seem to give off any magic, nor does the chair. You do not sense any foul play, no alteration magic or enchantment magic in this room that can affect you directly. You feel free to speak as you wish. As you're looking around, you do hear a voice through the mirrored wall, just beginning to speak to you. And it says, "Are you just looking around? Anything that catches your eye?"
Well, I was, let's say, expectant of finally meeting the elusive nobleman I've heard so much about.
Elusive. Not so elusive, more careful.
Seemingly you warranted, but by what? Excuse me, but you're living in a rather safe manner.
It is true. These walls are very strong, fortified. With an eye like yours, you can appreciate the finer craft that's been put into this estate. But when you live a life like mine and you have the capability to offer what I can offer, it leaves people wanting what you can give. And I do not take kindly to strangers or beggars.
Well, then by all accounts, I am pretty much just a stranger to you also. So why choose me or my companions?
Well, Ulrin Morgolosh, I know you more than you know me. But to make it even, I am Aidan Hassar. I am the lord and owner of this establishment, and I am your benefactor. You may not realize this, but I have been keeping a close eye on many people around this world to find those exceptionally talented, and that I can gift something in return for their aid.
Then, in that case, what are we to aid you with?
That will come later. I will tell all of you at once of what I am in need of. But for now, this is a conversation between you and I. I want to understand where you stand, because I am not who you are. I can only see on the surface. I want to know what makes you tick and why you are so special. For I can help you, but I can only help you if I can understand you.
Then, I've heard you would ask questions, then ask away.
Questions, questions, questions. You have strong tradition, family ties, but your brother is missing.
Yes.
How does that make you feel?
It's been a long time since I've last seen him, last heard of him. We are estranged. But still, I would say I feel worried. I know him as a kind soul, and I worry what could have happened to him.
I can help you find him. That is why I brought you here. He stands alone in a place that no one can reach. But I can get you there. I can guide your path forward to helping him, to freeing him of what burdens him. This is what I offer to you. It is prevalent that an exchange must happen. So I must ask you, what bounds are you willing to go where faith will be questioned?
In the end, I do follow Moradin. I follow tradition. And I've been raised with many bonds. Not literally, of course. But in the end, I'm also Oren myself. I make my own decisions. And I expect both my family and my god to respect them.
That is a sentiment that I can agree with. A respect is needed to the individual and what they can provide. I've seen what you are capable of. I've seen your bond that you have made with many across your journey. I will never get in the way of this. But times of conflict will mean that bonds will be broken. Are you ready to break bonds?
With cause, perhaps. But it is a bond that drives me forward to accepting your offer. I ask you to remember that before asking me to forsake my own.
You are left there in silence for a moment as he compliments, and you get the sense that he acknowledges that and takes it with good faith. Do you believe that I had brought you together with the rest of your flock? Fate is a temptress that is forever winding a thread. Do you think that I am capable of such power?
As it stands currently, you've picked us up from seemingly nowhere. And we don't know how you know us or our potential. We've been brought together by fate, circumstance, or perhaps coincidence. However, it all aligns to your machinations, so yes. I do think that while you cannot control fate directly, you have a hand in events.
Very perceptive. You are right. Not many can control fate. We are all bound to the mistress that guides us. But there are very few whose fingers begin to pluck and guide to a singular path. Some heinous and despicable, for we should all have freedom. I bring you here, not just yourself, but everyone else, with a choice. None of you are forced to do as I ask. But if you do, what you seek will be found. Is there any question you wish to ask me, Ulrin? In confidence while you still can.
While you have introduced yourself, I yet do not know what you are. A wizard, perhaps. Powerful one. From where do you gain your own power, with which you promise to aid us?
The reason you do not see me at first is because my sight can be quite unforgiving to many. I have power granted to me through what I have chosen, the path that I had walked, and the rest of my kin. We all find ourselves in a state of choice to aid others for our own benefit. I am no wizard. I am no person either. I am a creature of circumstance. But I may not feel the same sentiments as you do. Know that I am learning, and that I will listen and answer as much as I can. Do you wish to see my form?
If only out of curiosity, yes.
I ask you a second question. Do you wish to see my true form?
With a slight side eye at the beholder. Is your form harmful to behold?
It may leave you with more questions than answers.
So, questions are the first step to getting answers. So, yes.
Okay. Just because the others wouldn't know what he looks like, I will send you a description later, once we're finished. Is there anything
Okay.
else that you wish to conduct during this meeting?
I feel like after I behold his true form and him giving me a lot to think about, I'll end it here.
Okay. So for you, Ulrin, you see the mirror become transparent, like a window where there are no borders. It becomes completely devoid of anything, parting the ways. And you see sat there in the chair for everyone to know who he is, essentially a gargoyle. You see a gargoyle dressed in a very proper suit, sat there with a cane in his side. But for a brief moment, that fades away and you see something else. Something darker. But there are no fears that go through your mind, just something else. And we'll discuss. But with that, Oren, you head down and you see Richter follow you, look around at the ground and address everyone else. Axon, if you could please follow me. You will be having the interview now.
Sure.
You follow behind, head up the stairs, and are greeted to the same room as Oren did. The mirror, as large as the walls itself. What do you do as you enter?
There were chair right somewhere.
Yeah.
So I will just like look at the chair, like adjust it a bit. Yeah, then take it and place it right in front of the mirror.
Sure.
And sit and put one leg onto another and cross my arms and look into the mirror, waiting for.
You see your own reflection looking back at you, and as you do sit there, you just hear, "Very eager to speak, are we?"
I'm more eager to listen. What do you want to share or to tell me?
As I thought. Well, as I had spoken to the others, I am Aiden Hassar, Lord of this estate. And I understand your situation, Axon, is a dire one that I wish to help with. But yet, I am someone that cannot give something for free. You could say that just like your people, that it is my burden to carry. I must trade if you wish to find the secrets. And that trade will only happen to the end of what I look in you.
It's quite understandable. I did not expect it, or did not expect you to just, give me a solution to all my troubles. But anyway, are you like what price is it for that information, or what price tag would you put it on?
I have a need. I need to rid this world of impurity, evil. I need you to help vanquish what is and always was a parasite to this world. With your aid, vanquishing the foes that I seek you to bell, I can grant you the wishes that you need and deserve for such an act.
And just to keep it clear, you are not of demonic nature, are you?
I am.
So it's like making a pact, or
Not a pact, since this is my curse. I cannot conduct. My power is steady and can be flown through different means. I do not wish to become someone's thrall, someone's patron. I want to be an ambassador, a representative to aid in your efforts. But I am burdened by this curse that only allows me to give you what you seek through exchange. And there is only one thing that I ever needed in this world.
don't get me wrong, it's quite a noble cause. Though you must also understand that when there is a light, there will always be a shadow. So I'm not quite sure that we would be able to get rid of something like so global, like you said, get rid of the world of all impurities. It's just like an impossible task. You should
There is only a few that I need you to rid. They are, well, this will be explained further for all of you to hear. For now, we discuss, we have questions. These questions will never be heard or spoken of again. So I would use this time wisely to get the information you need from me.
How long are you like in this world or how long are you cursed and remain in this world?
I have been bound to this space for as long as I can remember. I had an origin elsewhere, and that formed into where I am today. I was able to break from the chains that I was in, and I am here now. But this has left me with enemies. You've seen my estate. You've seen the lengths that I go to protect myself and my carers. These people are strong, powerful, but I know you are all capable of removing them.
We came here to talk, aren't we? I didn't see yet any dangers which would require from us quite drastic measures yet. Though I will admit you have quite a defenses set up here. But satisfy my curiosity, please, if you could. Like, why are you seeking to get rid of some parasites or some impurities, as you said? But why are you not seeking how to remove your curse? And who cursed you? Like, were it like some god? Was it some gods or someone else?
Someone who fixates themselves in being a god, but they do not possess such a power. They play with the god's tools, and they left myself and the people I seek you to fight bared with this curse. I am who I am because of this person. That person is not the ire that I seek you to vanquish. It is the people that surround me. I was affected the same as the others. And now the others seek to remove me for my knowledge. But they are malicious, dangerous, and evil. I have learned the ways of your people to understand that affection and sentiment is real. They do not see this. And they will try and destroy everything that they find.
Saying that your
break.
parasites... Oh, sorry.
To break my curse, I need them gone first. And then I will grant you your wishes, and then I will be able to live a life that is unbound by them.
You're saying that your parasites bear some connection to the lake which hunts my people? Or did I
They-
misunderstood?
They did not have an act in your people. Noxelia is in a place that was not of anyone's intention. It was just a circumstance of the Fey realm. There are things there, like many other realms, that find their way through the ground, through the air, and wreak havoc where they can. I can understand that you are in pain and you need all of this. The knowledge that I have to remove this curse, to save your family. But if I could, I would. But I cannot until the task is done.
Yeah, I mean, it depends on how big is this task of yours. But it's sufficient for now, I would say, the information you shared about you. I kind of got my first impression. Or do you want to ask me something in return?
You have a long journey ahead of you, Axon. What do you wish to see in yourself in times to come?
Being myself. Huh. Yeah. I would like to see what I always saw. I don't really wish to see any changes.
You will not be changed by what I have planned. But the journey that you will follow will bring many hills, and your trajectory may be impacted by it. I cannot guarantee that you will not change. That is for you to make. If you are strong enough for this journey, which I believe you are, you will see no change. But this journey that I ask you to go on is for you to decide. You may choose to go or not to go. I will tell you, there are other ways to find answers to the Crimson Rot. But I do not know how quickly you will find them.
Yeah, that's why I will be honest with you. You are just one of the threats which I need to pull and see if I will get to the secrets behind it. I hope I did not offend you in any way, but I think
You cannot.
honest. Yeah.
Is there anything else you wish to ask him?
No. I got my ideas. I just wanted to share with you that depending on your or the task ahead of us and the enemies you would present, I can only offer you that I will make my own judgment, and it might, and there is a possibility that we might see each other against each other. So you would be just aware of it.
I understand. And you will do what you must.
Seems that we are on the same page now.
With that, the door opens, and Ritz is there to guide you out.
Yeah, before I go, I just put the chair back on its place. Is there
Sure.
any food on the table, or is there any table at all?
No, there's no food in this room now.
Okay. Yeah. And then before I exit the room, just take a last look at the mirror and not smiling, just like make a short note and exit the room.
Okay, cool. Axon leaves. Another person from the other group comes up, goes in. They come back again. Richter arrives once more. Oh, Maysili, could you please join us upstairs?
I'll follow.
Okay. You follow behind. You're greeted to the same room, the same large single piece of glass, a mirror, and as well all of those framed pictures behind, including the small chair in the middle. The door closes. What do you do as you enter?
Is Mushu with me? Is he
If you
like?
want
Was he allowed to be like
Yeah.
let in? I guess
Yeah,
he is.
Richter didn't say anything against it, so you have
Okay.
Mitchell alongside.
I don't know. I'm gonna stand like awkward in the center of the room.
Okay, just looking around. You just hear through the mirror, Maysili Moreau. Welcome,
Actually, it's just Macy.
Maysili. Understood. I am Aidan Hassar. I am the benefactor and lord of this estate. I just wish to have a conversation with you. Please, you may sit. If you prefer standing up, by all means.
Sit on the floor, just in the middle of.
Okay, sure. You crisscross applesauce on the floor. Mushu by your side. I have a question for you, Maysili.
Okay.
Your life has been quite an interesting one. I've seen all of you. Everyone present in this estate. I have looked with a fine eye on who you are and where you come from. Yours is quite the tale. A strong upbringing, a very focused one. In the letter I sent you, I said that I could offer something. What do you think that something is?
Really, anything I want.
And what is it you want?
I don't want anything. I made a deal and I intend to keep it. That's it. But it's not something that I don't feel like it's a burden to like keep that promise. Keep my end of the deal. How it is.
Mm-hmm. And I can respect that. But I also come here with an offer. You may take whatever you like. Once this transaction is finished, I will give you whatever you wish. But I will incept this idea into your mind. The past is not forever. If you wished to change something that was, that can be done. He just waits for your response.
I don't understand.
The past itself is not a thing that is fixed in stone. A harsh upbringing can be changed for something more lighter.
So you want to
Something
change? You want to change the past?
only if you wish to change what you have gone through. A minor change to something more extravagant. As
But
you
why
said.
would I? Why would I do that? the past, my past, is what made me today. I don't see why I should change that.
That is true. I merely offer the option. As you said, you may ask for anything you like. You may ask for someone dead to be back to life. Someone who is missing to be returned. A life to be whatever you wish it to be. Your path ahead is your own journey. And the past, it defines that.
Can I save? Can I like save the thing? So if I don't want something when I've done it, I can wait and I can come back and you'll still do it?
Wait for a moment as they think to themselves. If I am still alive, most definitely. But I cannot guarantee my safety. So this is a promise that I cannot keep.
But if you were alive, you'd do it.
I would grant you whatever you wished.
Interesting. So that's it? So you just want help with something?
Well, that something is dangerous. And I'm not sure who will make it alive. That is why the price for this is very high. The payment is a boon that no one is normally given. Many would fight for the chance to get whatever they wanted. But I only seek those who are truly gifted and capable. And I see a lot of potential in you, Missily.
And in the others, I'm sure.
That is true. They would not be here otherwise. But for you to come here without wanting anything, it shows that you are much stronger than the rest of them. You don't have to go on this adventure, this death wish. The rest of them do. But you choose to. And that is something quite brave.
So is that it? Can I go now, or?
To the point. If you do not have any other questions that you wish to be kept between you and I, you may leave.
Hey, smell you later. She'll walk away.
Okay. You leave through the door. He doesn't stop you. Richter seems quite surprised and just, oh, okay, that's quite fast. Oh, better. And lead you downstairs to the rest of the group. Some others are brought up, and then finally from your group, Richter just gestures over to Helen. Helen, if you could please join us. You're muted, Brooke.
Helen, in the meantime, would have tried to ask Ulrin and Axon, like, what they asked him about and kind
By all
of
means.
what the vibe was.
It was like he wanted to get to know us more or less. And yeah, it's more like the vibe was, I don't know, meeting with someone new, you know. It's nothing like to be like, say it's scared of or aware of, or you can keep your guards up. It doesn't really matter.
I experienced much of the same, but two things. For one, he asked me what I would be willing to let go of. My bonds with my family, tradition, my God. As if he was at odds with either of them, or expecting to cause his request to cause friction. The second is he seemed odd, like he only recently understood many things about people. Like he could only approach their emotions.
Like a child or like someone hidden from the world?
A bit of both.
Is this kind of thing, I mean, obviously a lot of things are kind of apart from the world, but is there anything specific that this kind of like random, semi-omnipotent, genie-like, doesn't really understand emotions, does any of that like ring any bells?
You can roll a history or religion check.
History.
24. There's for what Ulrin is describing, there's many different things in this world as you just described. There's genies, there's many fae creatures as well. But for something to lack an emotional state must mean that they were perhaps constructed. To have something that wasn't there originally would mean that they do not derive from life itself, which leaves many living beings to not be what this thing is. Because it gifts, because it can show, and it has an omnipotence, it definitely gives you the vibe that this is either some powerful fae creature, some primordial being that is almost on the same level as a god, or perhaps this is something from the Shadowfell. Those three ideas are kind of circling through your head, and if you could just roll just a general charisma check to see if anything story related comes up.
What was the first one you mentioned? Sorry. Primordial, Shadowfell, and
Fae, like Archfae.
just default charisma?
Yes. Okay. No stories seem to come into your mind. There are many out there, so there's none that stand out, especially with this little of information. Perhaps if more things come up, more will begin to connect into your mind. But if this creature is something of those realms and is prevalent enough, then stories would have been written about them. But your theory is so far that they are closed off and not known about as much as any other fae or story-based fable. Okay, so Richter just gestures over to you to join upstairs, and you follow behind. You're greeted to the same room, chair, windows. By windows, I mean little mirrors that reflect something else, painting or so on and so forth. And then you have this large mirror in front of you with a chair in the center. What do you do as you walk in?
As we're kind of walking up the stairs, I'd probably I'd let loose a little bit and kind of turn on the Fey Mesmer.
Yeah.
Just to kind of be able to do a bit more of a vibe check. And also,
Sure.
while we're walking, try and figure out, what's what's this guy feeling that's leading us all around? Like, is he calm? Is he kind of stressed? Like,
You roll an insight check at advantage as you try and understand his mental state. Okay. You are getting the sense that this is something that he's been planning towards for a while. This Richter, who is a helper to Hassar, has been through a long journey, and you can sense the sentiment of "I'm ready." This eagerness to get started with something they've been prepping for so long. So he is excited above all else. There is a hint of nervousness that you can feel, but that is overwhelmed by the excitement and readiness that is inside of him. As he does bring you to the door, you do see at the very edge of... There are essentially two doors, and he leads you to the one, but there's another door to the left of it, where the mirror is basically intersecting, where he sits. From that space, there is... there's almost sentiment everywhere, because it is such an ethereal energy that it just seeps into the stonework and the surroundings. From that area, nothing. Blank.
from where the mirror is, it's just like...
From the mirror, from the door to the left, yeah, completely blank.
I'd kind of go into the room and kind of move quite close to the mirror.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Like, probably get the chair and, like, drag it over, maybe, like, 5 foot from the mirror and kind of sit down.
You see your reflection straight away, and you just sit there and try and analyze this sentiment. You hear the voice come through. Hello and welcome. I am Aidan Hassar, the lord of this estate. I can see that you're already using your very unique set of skills, Helen.
She'd kind of shrug her shoulders a little bit and goes, "Can't blame me. Curiosity got the best of me. It's quite the mysterious journey we've been on so far."
Can I ask you what you sense looking in my direction?
She'd kind of just look at it, and as she looked at her, she'd kind of cock her head and kind of try again, but just kind of very, blank, goes, "Nothing at all," which is the most curious.
As it should
Not
be.
many places or people with complete lack of everything.
Well, I am a creature that does not have sentiment. I cannot when it comes to my situation. I cannot make bonds. I cannot rely or feel a certain way. It is uncouth of someone in my position to make friends. We are all acquaintances here. An exchange to be made.
You've assembled quite the troupe. Even your assistants are quite interesting themselves. Mysterious. Fantastic characters.
They are good people. And they are bred for the cause that is to come.
Quite the choice of words.
It is truth. I've known them since they were very young, before becoming teenagers, and they have been formed, morphed into what they need to be. And they will guide you, give you insight into what comes next. They are much more prepared than they look.
A father yet not, somehow. Quite interesting.
Your own upbringing has been quite interesting as well. I've seen many parts of it, all painted with tragedy, just as your father would have liked. It is a shame to see such notable figures in the Fae fall such ill-timely deaths. How does that make you feel? What is the sentiment that you radiate when those images come to your mind?
She'd kind of look in his direction very quizzically, and just smile at him a little bit and goes, "What do you think? What would you guess if you've been watching for so long? Curious to see how you would see such things, given you feel seemingly none of it."
I can never understand the feeling that you have. It is impossible for me. But I can see that there is a goal that needs to be met, and I can help you reach that goal. Titava is a witch that I can at least share a distaste for. The Fae realm has brought many creatures that have twisted sense of ideals and morals. She is no different. And I guess if any sentiment were to radiate from me, it would be a sense of macabre joy to see her fall from her pedestal, since she is so familiar to me.
At this point, Helen's lip would be twitching into just a very maniacal smile. She's trying to keep her composure, but at the mention, she's just trying to keep a very big grin off her face and goes, "Quite some time you've been watching us then."
All I have had
Enjoyer
is
of
time.
stories?
I enjoy a time of reflection to see what is possible, and I see that you and the rest are very capable, and seek at least a open hand to guide you in the places you wish to end up, whether that is flying your own flag high or destroying the monuments that are built by others. People are strange, and I will never second guess what you would need. But to offer you this step forward to the path that you seek, I need aid in my own journey.
Journey of what type? Quest of what kind? I'm kind of just smiling.
It is a journey of vengeance, but also devotion, a need to fix the past and to remove any semblance of what could have been, because they are truly despicable. Time and reflection have shown me this. I do not lie to you, Helen, when I say that these creatures are of ill intent. They will ensorcel you. They will try and control you. They possess the same powers as I do, If anything, they are more likely stronger than I. But in this estate, I am safe. I am protected. And that is why I choose my people with a fine-tooth comb.
These creatures, you say your kin, you say my would-be stepmother is familiar to you. Are you of the Fae? The Shadowfell, perhaps? You say you have no feelings, but this quest you mentioned is very full of passion. Maybe it's long gone, but still.
I am something in between, created by the Fae to inhabit the Shadowfell and to gift trickster gifts to all that seeked a gift, a wish to become more. Every single one was met with an ill omen, as per her demand. But your stepmother, she is as twisted as they come. And that's why I see great pleasure in helping in your quest. But this will come later. I only hope that you can hold back your anger until then.
She kind of nod and go, quite the tale you tell. Yes. Perhaps we can help one another then.
Perhaps we can. More will be shared later with everyone present. But I ask you one last time. This will be one of the few moments that we have a time with one another. If there are any questions that you have that you do not wish heard, this is the time to ask them.
She kind of think for a second and goes, you, to some extent, believe in justice? At least from your own sense? Do you hold us to specific standard on that regard? Specific set of values? Or are we to do as we please, as long as your quest is done?
Your methods, each one of you has a unique look on life. Your sentiment and your experience are what I seek. You will make the best decision in my stead. But I wish that you complete it with a strength behind you, because these creatures, they hide in plain sight, and they will strike back tenfold, if not surprised.
She kind of nod and goes, formidable foe we face. Interesting.
It is something that needs to have a final chapter. The story has been going on for too long.
She'd kind of nod and kind of stand up and kind of bow towards the mirror a little bit with her head and goes, Who's up next then? kind of looking towards the door.
The door opens. Richter looks in. You were the last one, Helen. So please, if you could join me downstairs.
Should nod and just head out and still kind of curve around kind of towards the door a little bit just to try and see if you can feel any little bit of anything as we go.
Again, that sentiment is just completely null and void. There's nothing there. It is just this kind of sickly sensation that it reminds you of two things. It reminds you of Queen Hollow, because Queen Hollow has the ability to siphon sentiment to prolong their life. And she is the ruling monarch of the Fey realm. Yet this is almost like a complete opposite. It is negating the effects of sentiment from even reaching. So that is why the Shadowfell aspect almost kicks in, because the Shadowfell is a complete opposite of the Fey realm. A place that is devoid of any sentiment. A place that is, for lack of a better term, the opposite of the Fey. But you head down, join the rest, and as you're all gathered there for a moment, you all hear the door open, and you hear the 3-step cadence. Just as 3 steps grow louder and louder as they come from above and down the stairs. You all see a statue, a moving statue, wearing a green, dark-hued suit, a 3-piece suit, a cane in their hand. They walk with a slight limp. Behind them, a almost cape-looking attire that is like a running waterfall that is just held there. Just follows behind, and you see it split apart on occasion, almost like they turn into wings of sorts, and they emerge from the suit itself. They turn in place to look down at the rest of you, and you see the gargoyle-like features of a well-suited person, standing at about medium height, but a tall height, leaning against this cane, cracks across the face, slight tusks raising upwards and leaving their jaw forward a smidge. Their head, no hair, but rather brambles of thorns, like the twisted bushes and brambles that you see in a children's novel, a scary children's story depicting a twisted bramble of thorns and knots across their head, resembling a crown of sorts. You see they look forward and down at the rest of you. And we're going to end the session there, since it's getting late, and they can introduce themselves fully, proper, and brief you. But anyway, thank you very much for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed, and we'll catch you next time.
Hey.